Now that we've created our project, our first step is to create a work breakdown structure. So let's start creating a WBS. I highlight my project, right-click on it, and open it. To open my work breakdown structure and begin building it, I can go to Project and the WBS. You notice the blue icons here on the left. The same icons are down here on my toolbar. I can select those. And now I've opened up my work breakdown structure, or WBS window. I have my projects open, my activities open. I have new activities in there in my work breakdown structure. If your screen doesn't look exactly like mine, let me give you a couple of hints that may help you out. On your Activities tab, this is showing the name of the project, which is the highest level of my work breakdown structure. If this is not showing on your screen, you can go to View, Group, and Sort By. Once again, if you'll notice that icon, I can select a group and Sort By button. Make sure that the Group and Sort By is set to Group and Sort By Work Breakdown Structure. Then your heading will show. As you build your WBS, all of your headings will be built in these activities view. So in my work breakdown structure, here's my highest level of the WBS, which is the name of my project. I'm going to slide my screen over to the right and start adding work breakdown structure. Now I have the work breakdown structure that we're going to use is on page 34 in your manual. To add a work breakdown structure element, you select the Add here in the top right corner of the screen. I can add, and I'm going to add my first one from my list, which is milestones. Notice when I added my first work breakdown structure that it automatically indented. So my first work breakdown structure was milestone. I'm going to add another one. Notice it indented it. I mentioned I'm going to move that over to the left. Now I'm going to call this design. Let's add another one for procurement. I'm going to move it over to the left, call it procure. I want to add another one, or construction. Move it over to the left. Now you'll notice these are my highest level of work breakdown structures. This is my level 1, as I would call it. In your manual, you'll notice that in the construction, when you begin a new level of organization, I'm going to call this general conditions. Now, after I've added one or two, I can just use my insert key and add another one. Site work, move it over to the left, add another one, then building A. I'm going to move my building A over to the left. Within building A, I'm going to start breaking out my building into different components. I have a substructure, insert. I have a structure, move it over to the left. Under structure, to add interior rough-ins, I'm going to move it to the left. Exteriors, move it to the left, and interior finishes. I want to add one more for my site finishes, and I'm going to move it over to the left. It's actually not part of the building. I want to move it over to the left one more. So once again, look at my work breakdown structure. If I summarize construction, I have 4 elements in level 1. I have 4 elements in level 2, general condition, site work, buildings that I want to build, and site finishes. In my buildings, I have 5 categories: my substructure work, structure, interior rough-ins, exteriors, and exterior finishes. The more detail you have in your outline, the fewer activities you have in your work breakdown structure, making it much easier to schedule. In all of your table areas, you can always sort by selecting a heading. This usually comes up in the work breakdown structure. In my classes, someone will accidentally get a column and will lose their hierarchical view. Since it is hierarchical, I can sort by this column, view ascending and descending, and the third option puts it back into that hierarchical view. So if you lose your hierarchical view, you need to select that column heading until the outline shows up again. Now that we've created our work breakdown structure, you can look back at that activity screen. You see all the headings. And because I did some of my work breakdown structure out of order, my screen needs to be refreshed. I can refresh my screen by hitting F5. And here is my work breakdown structure in my activities view. So I'm ready to start adding activities.